Hello, welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. I'm just doing some preparations to these raised beds because I intend planting, even though it's June, some vegetables, some salads in here. I'm going to do it a bit differently. I've chosen things which are colourful and I'm going to do it symmetrically so we have a nice pattern, so that as it grows we'll have a nice colourful pattern in that raised bed. The raised beds are 2/3 full of logs and twigs and old garden waste, and it's been covered for 18 months. So that is well on its way to rotting down. I just need to top it off with some topsoil to plant these into. So let me tell you what I'm going for. I've got some endives, nice bright light green frizzy plant. I've got some silver chard, so that will be quite striking when it grows up. I've also got some bright lights chard. Can you see that chard has got all kinds of different colours of stalk. Some dark green kale, some crimson beetroots, and some radish. So I'm going to plant those in a pattern around this U-shaped raised bed. I've also got a selection of herbs, so I'm going to make a herb garden in the individual raised bed that you can see on the right. So I will now top these off with some topsoil, and I'll see you in a moment when I plant the seeds. So here we are. I've added some topsoil. You can probably see that the soil out of my garden is very, very sandy, very well drained. I'm not too worried about that because just underneath that very sandy topsoil there is a Hügelkultur bed of goodness for them to get their roots into. I've laid the seed packets out here. We're going to have chard, endive, chard, beetroot, radish. Behind we're going to have a bed of kale. I think kale might be perennial, so that's why I put it at the back in the middle. And whatever I do on this side, I'm going to repeat on this side. Now, as I was putting the topsoil on, I had another idea. You can see I put these planks on here, which is basically just to give me an idea of the space I've got. When I've got those seeds in there, I'm going to lift the planks and put a little line of herbs in between each one. And they're going to be different because I've got different types of herbs. And I'm not going to oversow. One of the things I learned last time I did this was not to oversow. And also sometimes these will need protection, but we'll come to protection when they've germinated. So I'm going to get the seeds in. I'm not a big one for instructions, but I will follow the instructions. All these can be sown outdoors in June. That's why I'm using these. So let's start at this end. Repeat, move along, repeat, and so on until I've got a bed of seeds. I'll probably do this in fast forward so that you don't get bored. I'll see you on the other side. So there we go, that's all sown, both the vegetables and the herbs, and I haven't made a note of where the herbs are, so I'm just going to reel them off now so that I've got a record on film. Basil, red leaf basil, Thai basil, chives, garlic chives, calypso coriander, coriander confetti, parsley, giant of Italy, simple chervil, oregano Greek, and basil or basil. Now, a couple of things I learned from that was a lot of the packets said sow into watered soil. I had already given these beds a good soaking. I'm going to give them a fine spray just to get them properly wet. I emptied the seeds into this little bowl and sowed them with my fingers. Last time I tried to do veg, I oversowed. So I've undersowed this time, and hopefully that will mean that I won't need to thin them out, but I might need to thin them out anyway. Some of them, like this kale behind me, which I thought was perennial, actually isn't perennial, but you can use it for young leaves. And if you're using it for young leaves, I don't have to thin it, I just have to keep taking the young leaves off. So that's that. I didn't use all the seeds, so I've probably used about a third of the seeds, and then I used this piece of paper to help me to get them back in the packet, and I put them in a dry place. So I'm hoping this will produce a lovely, colourful, almost symmetrical, and very interesting bed that I can come out to and just pick bits from. And of course, if you want to see how it turns out, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and I will also put an update just up here on the screen when they're all germinated and it's grown. So I'll see you soon for some more raised bed gardening. One last thing, there's a video about these raised beds on my channel. I'll put a link to that in the description box below. Oh, the very final last thing, the grubbing hoe came in really useful for making little narrow channels to put the seeds in. So again, I'll put the link for that, the Amazon link for that, in the description box below this video. If you buy it, I get a commission. Thank you very much for your support. See you soon for some more raised bed gardening. Bye for now.